Hello children, last class we saw about the conservation of plants and animals, and today we are going to see chapter 8 that is about cell, its structure and functions. We are going to see about the cell. What is the importance of cell in living organisms and the cell organelles. Okay, you know very well, cell is the structural and functional unit of all organisms. Okay, that is the main thing. It's the structural and functional unit of all organisms, and the basic structural unit of an organ is cell. That means all living organisms, the body is composed of cell, and each organ in a living organism is made up of cell. It's made up of cell. Okay, each and every organ that is present in all the living organism. Here you can have a picture of the cell. They are microscopic, so they are made up of cell, and your body is made up of millions of cells. That is what you are going to see about the importance of cell. It is a structural unit of an organ. Cell is a structural unit of an organ. So first of all, you must know about its discovery. This was first discovered by Robert Hooke. He is Robert Hooke in the year 1665. He was the first man to observe cell under a microscope. That time it was not the developed microscopes were not there. So he was able to observe it under a magnifying device. They will call it as a magnifying device. He observed slices of cork under a magnifying device. Cork is nothing but it's a part that is present in a bark, bark of a tree. It is a part, and it is composed of dead cells. You know very well that cork, the bark, how dry it will be. It is a part present in a bark of a tree, and it is composed of dead cells. And he observed thin slices of cork under a magnifying device. Okay, like you can see the magnifying device, those time it was like that. And what he observed, the picture you can see in the picture given there, I said already it's made up of dead cells, so dead plant cells. And he was able to observe or he noticed honeycomb like structures, small structures under the magnifying device, and he named or he coined the name cell. Okay, he was the first. He coined the name cell, and this was the kind of microscope used during those time. Robert Hooke's microscope. You can see the eyepiece and other parts, objective, how he was able to focus. And then after that, I said it is a dead cell. It is composed of cells of living organisms came, and cells of living organisms could be observed only after the discovery of improved microscopes. Then after that, this is actually onion peel cells. If you take a thin slice of a onion peel and observe it under the microscope, you will be able to see the cells. That is what you can see. The cell wall is there, nucleus, and the jelly-like substance, internal inside substance known as a cytoplasm. These are the components of cell. When we observe onion peel cell under a microscope, onion peel under a microscope, you will be able to see the cells like this. And I said cells of living organism could be observed only after the discovery of improved microscope. This is a thin a slice of a leaf. When you observe it under the microscope, you can see the cells. Okay, improved microscope. This is what the improved microscope, and we have now advanced compound and electronic microscope. In this, we can see the cells of living organisms. They were improved microscopes. And the cells, the cell has different shapes and size. We cannot say they have the same. You observe, I showed you on onion peel cells and leaf cells. The shape varies. Okay, sometimes they will be cylindrical or round. So the cell, the shape of the cell varies. and the size also. See, most of the cells are microscopic. Most of the cells are microscopic in size. That is what we need a microscope to view them. Otherwise, you cannot see them under a normal eye. Under unaided eye, you will not be able to see them. But egg of hen, that also represents a single cell. Okay, egg of a hen, it represents a single cell. You know, egg, that is also a cell, but that is a big, you can see it and with your eyes. That also, the egg also represent a single cell that you can view it with your eyes. But most of the other cells, that is, your body is composed of cells, those cells are microscopic and you need a microscope to view it. Okay, then I'll say about, you're talking about the cell, and I'll say about the stains, importance of stains. This is also a cell under a compound microscope. When you observe the cell, they will not, basically they will not be having any color. So stains, coloring agent. Stains means coloring agent. They are used to color parts of the cell. Then only you will be able to distinguish the nucleus and other cell organelles inside the cell. So these here you have different colors. It can be pink, purple or blue. See, that is what for coloring, so that you can observe the parts clearly. Stains are used to color the parts of the cell. Okay, so this is what the stains. This also, so that you can see the nucleus and the cell membrane inside cytoplasm, and okay, this is what the stains, importance of stains. And our human body, you know, we are all multicellular, millions of cells which vary in shapes and size. They have so many shapes and the size is also different. Different groups of cells perform a variety of functions, and we have organ system, well developed organ system, and different groups of cells perform a variety of functions. Or cells, they form tissues, organs and organ system. Okay, like that, we are all multicellular. Then we'll see the differences between multicellular and unicellular. This is unicellular. This is a picture of amoeba. Okay, in the case of unicellular, the organisms, unicellular organisms, the body is made up of a single cell. Okay, this is an example for unicellular organism, amoeba. You can see inside everything it will be having, but a single cell. The single cell performs all the function. It is unicellular. Multicellular organs are made up of more than one cell. That is, they are called as multicellular. But even in multicellular organism, the life begins as a single cell. Okay, that is a fertilized egg. The egg only develops into, it multiplies, and the number of cells increase in size. So life begins as a single cell, which is nothing but a fertilized egg, in which development take place. A cell multiplies and the number of cells increase, and then it becomes a multicellular. Okay, but in the case of single cell organism, all the necessary functions, like amoeba, for example, amoeba, it captures food, digests food, it respires, excretes, it grows, reproduces, everything is done by a single cell. Okay, that is the difference between a multicellular and unicellular organisms. But functions in a multicellular organisms are carried out by groups of special cells. Okay, I said groups of cells, they form tissues, and tissues form organs, and various organs perform different functions, which would not be present in the case of unicellular organism, but a single cell performs everything. Okay, respiration, excretion, everything, reproduction, everything a single cell performs. But in the case of multicellular organism, group of special cells are nothing but the tissues. Tissues form organs, and the organs perform special functions in your body. Okay, this is what the diagram of amoeba, and you can see the finger-like projections here. The finger-like projections are known as pseudopodia, or okay, finger-like projection. With the help of it moves. It is engulfing a foreign for its food. foreign organism engulfing the foreign particle, and digestion takes place. It engulfs, okay, and just it goes inside the body like that. This is paramecium. It is also a unicellular organism. Example, unicellular organisms. And see, amoeba, they can change their irregular in shape. I said no, it has got finger-like projections which appear and disappear as it moves or feeds. Finger-like projection, you can see these are the finger-like projection. It is irregular in shape, and like same amoeba, in our body also one cell can change its shape. That is nothing but WBC. Okay, WBC or the white blood cells that is present in our body. It plays an important role in defense mechanism. See, it can change its shape. Like amoeba, I said engulfing, no, that also, this also engulfing the antigen or the pathogen that enters our body, and it destroys. These are the various types of WBC or white blood cells, and the central part is the nucleus. The nucleus is also very big, it will be bilobed. The shape of the nucleus varies, and these are the different types of white blood cell which can change its shape to destroy the antigen engulfing. It plays an important role in defense mechanism. Like this, various, I said no, shapes or different, shape varies. Okay, our blood cells, you can see our these muscle cells. Okay, muscle cells, you can see the nucleus is spindle shaped. Okay, both the ends will be tapering. They are spindle shaped. Muscle cells shape difference. Nerve cell, you know very well, nerve cells, they are highly branched because it receives and transfer messages, and they help to control and coordinate the working of different parts of the body. Main thing to control and coordinate the working of different parts of the body, it receives and transfer messages. They are branched, long and branched, our nerve cells. So the shape, how different are the shape? Muscle cells we saw the white blood cells, and this is our blood cells, RBC. Okay, circular biconcave disc. Okay, biconcave. This is the shape of RBC. Okay, and round in shape. So the shape varies. And now, which in the cell, we'll see the cell components, the parts, cell organelles, and which part gives shape for a cell. So you know very well, the cell is enclosed in a membrane. Okay, this is a plant cell. Okay, the cell is enclosed in a membrane which is known as the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Okay, so that is a little bit flexible, but the plant and the bacterial cell, in addition to the cell membrane, they have the cell wall. Okay, this cell wall gives shape and rigidity to these cells. Okay, so in addition to the cell membrane, they have cell wall, the plants and the bacterial cell, which gives them the shape and rigidity, okay, strength to the cell. So that is the thing, cell wall. Here plant cell, you can see the plasma membrane or the cell membrane, all the same only. In addition to the plasma membrane, you can see these two, primary wall, secondary wall, which constitutes the cell wall, which gives stability for a plant cell. Animal cell only, this is an egg of ostrich. I said egg is a single cell, biggest. Okay, egg is a single cell and it's biggest. Size, most of the cells, I said microscopic. They are not visible. You can see them only with the help of a microscope. You need a microscope, okay, like a bacterial cell. Largest cell is the egg of an ostrich. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, and one more thing, the size of the cell has no relation with the size of the body of the animal or a plant. Okay, that you must know. Okay, I said the size varies. Okay, the size varies. It has got nothing to do with the size of the organisms, an animal or a plant. Okay, see, it is not necessary the cell in the elephant be much bigger than those in a rat, because you know very well the elephant huge. Okay, rat is very small. The size of cell is related to its function. Okay, the size of the cell is related to its function. That is, nerve cells, I said, they are long and branch. But both in the case of an elephant and a rat, it is long and branch, and they perform the same function, that is nothing but transferring messages. You must not think an elephant it will be very long and highly branched, and rat it will be very, very less, and it's not that much branched. No, nothing. So the size of the cell is related to its function, not with the size of an organism. Okay, and today let's stop with this. In the next class we will see about the cell organelles. Okay, we'll see about the function of the cell organelles and other the cell structure and function. Okay, and then other parts of the cell. Is that clear, children? Okay, thank you, children.